Video 0015. Let's just rapid fire this stuff here, shall we? This time we're going to go with Uranus. Uranus. Real mature, Bradley. Yeah, no, bad jokes. Anyway, Uranus is neat. I like Uranus's energy because, first off, I love the phrasing, it's a higher vibration of Mercury, because I find it incredibly accurate and incredibly misleading at the same time. Because Mercury is our thought process and the way that we kind of relate to our own thoughts and the way our thoughts manage. Whereas Uranus is, yes, the global and the larger community thought pattern, being that it's part of the outer three, but it hits on the functions different than just being the way that the global consciousness is thinking. I'm not sure. See, I've had to obsess over my own thoughts and thought patterns and thought flows. So this is maybe more of a personal experiment that you'll have to conduct with yourself first. But notice and acknowledge how your own thought patterns will go through seasons, tides, and emanations. Springtime. Our thoughts usually lean more towards activity, excitement, new beginnings, new starts. Yes, because everything's fresh. As I always say, the servers are standing straighter and the cooks are all looking like dogs. Spring. But we all go through it, and we individually go through a similar spring year after year after year after year, at least if we're maintaining a certain semblance of pattern within ourselves. Now, if our tiny collected little world here, as Taoism says, or as any other religion say, really, is to follow the higher powers and the higher forms, and that would mean that the global thoughts and patterns and seasons that we experience on our planet must be a similar effect that hits on our solar system. It's not all just one season, there are different seasons within the solar system. And I feel somewhere in there has to be some degree of clock or mechanism with which to get a sense of what that may be. Hence enter Uranus, where Pluto is showing us what we have to release within ourselves, and Neptune is showing us where we can better connect and interlace with each other. Uranus is more so the thought pattern and the expression of that in whether it be artistic form, logical form, or just simply its articulation in general. It's looking at the way that we as a species are interacting and talking with one another. The personal effect of it is with the generational groupings. You have certain mindsets and certain formats. I would expect Aquarius energy within Pluto and Neptune and Uranus to bring in more of a punk mindset than anything else. And Uranus kind of captures some of that and organizes some of that into its weird little ball and collective. So you've got this unity that kind of comes together to make this final shaped form. This is the thought pattern of that form. And whatever sign, whatever structure it's kind of relating against, it's both creating people that work with that system within themselves, but it's also creating that environment for us to have to go through those experiences and go through those developments. As we experience things within us, we then project it on the world around us, thereby making us the creators of our own reality. So if we're holding on to lots of thoughts that relate towards destruction, mayhem, and chaos, and yes, we're going to draw that more into the world. But obliviousness to thought and trying to be ignorant or unaware of thought or of the larger picture only creates a different kind of disaster and form. If you really want to look at how this can be played out, I would strongly suggest looking through, I believe the name's Mahatma Buddha, but Buddha's story, taking him out from the palace and into the streets. What are the transformations that he philosophically had to go through, and how does a global conscious thought around that tie together? Therein lies the secret of thinking Uranus's energy and Uranus's form, the class, the puzzle that we're all being dealt with. If Saturn is our teacher, then Uranus may be the subject matter. And I feel it's key to us to make sure that we're looking at that subject matter as eager students and work with it quicker than not. Otherwise, you just wind up with chaos and disaster. And, it works for me, but it's not going to work for most people. But Uranus affects the way that we collectively experience, think, process. It is a thought pattern orientation embarking and arching over top of the entire societies and groupings and super families that we have within our world.